Hey guys, I just want to make another video talking more about postpartum depression and anxiety, and I have my husband here, David, which is going to be really awkward because he's never been recorded, but starting with the birth experience and everything, I just wanted to go more in depth of not only how I experienced it, but how he experienced it as well. So I'm going to be asking him a few questions also about getting home and overall how he felt with Lennon being born and how he feels now. Overall, my postpartum depression and anxiety was very intense. It was more of anxiety, but how did you feel about Lennon being born and everything? Me in labor, me legs up and everything, experienced the whole birth. How did you feel when I was giving birth? Were you nervous?
I guess I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. From that standpoint of the small things, I understand birth and everything. I just didn't know any of the details, and I didn't know what to do, and I thought you knew everything, so I just relied on your plan and everything that you, I went into it thinking that you knew everything that was going to happen, and I just let you run with it.
See, I had no idea what was going to happen or anything, and the fact that our birth plan didn't go any sort of way that we planned it to be and stuff, just because I did get the epidural and everything, I had no idea. But whenever you saw Lennon and stuff, was it scary or something? Because I think whenever babies are born and everything, they're not the cutest, but whenever I finally held Lennon, I fell in love with him, because when I was pregnant, I had no idea how he was gonna look like or anything. We didn't have the, is it 3D or 4D ultrasound? 3D ultrasound, so we honestly had no idea how he would look like. So
no, it didn't surprise me really.
It didn't.
I just kind of went with it.
And when you held him, was it weird?
Well, yes and no. It was weird that Lennon was finally there after 9 months of waiting, but it was weird because I was who's this dude? At the same time.
Yeah. I was actually scared to hold him, because I felt I was also gonna drop him or something. It was very scary, especially when we were at the hospital and we were nursing him and everything, and I was so tired and I would doze off and stuff, so I felt he was gonna fall or something was gonna happen, and I was terrified completely and stuff. And overall, I just had so much anxiety. But when I finally got discharged and everything, when we got home, that's when it really truly hit me. And did it hit you when we finally got home? This is real?
Yeah, if you've seen any of her other videos, she might have dropped the bomb that all I did was sleep at the hospital, so I wasn't anxious about anything. I was just resting and relaxing over there, just waiting. It felt like it took a week.
Wait, but when you're in the hospital, did you feel kind of disconnected? You didn't know what, well, obviously you didn't know what to do, but did you feel that was your way of coping with things, just dealing with it on your own? Did you feel if it would pressure me if you had no idea, if you were to tell me what do I do?
Yeah, I just didn't mess with you at all the whole time. But yeah, I guess when we got home, I got a little more anxious because it was kind of becoming real at that point. And I'm well, now I got this little dude and stuff, so we got to figure this out, because he's not going to move out for a couple of years.
Yeah, and there's no nurses telling you oh, how many diapers have you changed, and when did you last feed him, on what breast, and basically you didn't have an adult telling you what to do next. And that's when I started like feeling overwhelmed, like, did I do this correctly? Am I doing this enough? Like, there's no like, well, there is books to guide you, but you're kind of like thrown in there, which makes me feel like super overwhelmed. Even till this day, I feel super overwhelmed of the fact that like every single day is like different. And especially when we got home, I just didn't know what to do. Like, should I just like go to bed? Should I just like, I don't know. But what do you think? Like, whenever like the first few nights, like, were you able to even get any? I didn't get any sleep, of course, but like, were you able to get any like sort of like?
Well, I get a lot of crap for this, but I slept fine. I didn't lose a wink of sleep. I was good to go the whole time. I mean, I guess how I dealt with my anxiety was that I like kind of shut down.
Yeah.
And I just went to work, and I went to school, and I just did the things I normally did, and just continued pressing on.
Yeah, and then another thing is that he already missed 2 days of work, so we didn't have like paternity leave as the Family Medical Act. We couldn't afford it, and like your work doesn't really, like, we wouldn't have gotten paid, so we couldn't afford it.
Yeah, it would have been unpaid anyway.
Yeah.
They would have given it to me, but it would have been unpaid, so it's useless time off.
So we kind of just, like we said, like we kind of got thrown in there, and then he just went back to work while I stayed at home. And I haven't been working ever since like I got pregnant, and that's a long story. Like, I'll make another video about it, but I guess he didn't have time to like cope with everything just because he kind of had to just leave, you know. And I stayed at home feeling like really like confused and scared. Like, for the first like few weeks, I would like cry a lot. Like, I remember just crying just for nothing. And like one time I even cried, they call it the baby blues or something like that, but this continued on. But I remember crying because I didn't make you a sandwich so you could take to lunch, because I felt really bad because like I was so behind on everything and I just didn't know what to do. Okay, so now we have Lennon in here. He's gonna hopefully behave. But like we were saying, he just went back to work and everything. I just cried a lot. I was super scared. I didn't have my mom, and it's a long story, and I don't really want to get into that just because it's going to be a super long, dragged out issue that's still going on. But I didn't have anybody to keep me company. Like, we would stay up all night, and then we would like wake up like at what, 9, 10, and then you would have to get ready and go to work, because David would have to work during the day and night, like the second shift type of job and stuff like that. But I just experienced like a lot of like sadness and anxiety, and I couldn't even like drive myself anywhere because I was scared that I was gonna like end up getting in a car crash, and I just didn't trust myself to take care of Lennon. And there's some days that I have like no idea what I should do and stuff, so I kind of play it by ear, and I think a lot of mothers do that. But overall, I just trust my instinct, and I still suffer from a lot of anxiety. Like, we still like go out in public, and the minute he starts crying, I just immediately want to leave because I don't know how to deal with it yet. But
I would say that's accurate, I guess.
Yeah, I have like a lot of anxiety. I'm always like stressed out just because I have no idea what to do, and it's all on me. Therefore, like, even when I don't have any motivation and everything, I start feeling really guilty, and I just keep going, you know. But how do you feel? Like, do you want to talk more about like how you felt dealing with going back to work and not spending so much time bonding with your child?
So for me, everything just went back to normal. I just went back to work. It was like nothing had changed. Like, we took a pause, Lennon popped out, and then my life just went back to normal the way it was without Lennon. So the only time I saw Lennon was like well, actually just a little bit in the morning, like a couple hours a day. Because he would already be asleep when I got home, and then I would be up at night, and he would already be sleeping.
And like during the day, all I would watch is like Netflix series, like just to like waste the hours and everything. So I felt like the day was just dragging, and I think one thing that would keep me like motivated and like okay, knowing that David would come back home and then like I would be okay. You know, like I felt very overwhelmed, and like I guess like there's certain points that you go saying like, well, if I could get to here, like I would do it in 4-hour blocks, like okay, 4 hours passed and then I have to do this and then another 4 hours and stuff like that. So you were also working like 10-hour shifts, right?
Back and forth, either 410s or then the regular 5.
He wouldn't get home like until like 10, 11. We wouldn't go to sleep till like what, midnight?
Like midnight or 1?
Midnight, and that's not even like sleeping. But like how did you feel whenever like you got home, and then did you feel like you kind of didn't get a chance to like actually connect with Lennon?
No, I, especially when he was a lot younger, I didn't at all, because you did everything. I would wake up and then go to work, but then he wouldn't do any, like he was
See,
he was just like a little, like he was just like a little human being just sitting there. He wouldn't do anything when he was little, so he would just kind of sit there or sleep.
I felt like I couldn't like, because there are certain times that I would be like super upset and you didn't know what to do, but then I felt like really bad because I was like trying to go to you for like help, but then like also I didn't want to like stress you out even more, and that's why I was trying to like kind of like hide everything, I guess. But then it got to the point that I just like I started coping with it on my own, you know, like I talked over the phone a lot with my other sisters, and they kind of helped me get through it. But like even till this day, I don't really drive a lot either, because I don't like really trust myself to like drive.
No, so I do all the driving.
Yeah, but we only have one car right now, so most of the time he does drive, unless you know some sort of emergency and stuff like that. But another topic is like now dealing like with Lennon, now that he's won and everything. Would you say it's easier for you to like bond with him?
He still presents challenges because he doesn't want to do anything or listen. But other than that, he's not a bad guy. We still get to play and everything. I mean, it's definitely a lot more, you know, for me as the dad to be able to do something with him that I couldn't do when he was like 3 months old, because all he would do was just kind of lay there and be like, drink milk and that's it. So now he'll play with toys, and I'll play with him with toys and everything, and I think we're starting to hang out a little bit more. And then, you know, we'll be able to take him over to parks and everything as he gets a little bit older. We'll be able to enjoy that. How do you feel about like how you feel now? Like, do you feel more confident as a parent? Do you feel better that you kind of have like more, like I guess, stability over like your like how you feel like being a parent? Like, do you feel, like I said, confident? Or do you still like, well, for me, I don't really feel that confident. I take it day by day. It's a guessing game, like for me, like I always have to guess, and as long as he seems happy and stuff, that's how I take it. I mean, I feel confident enough that I could handle him if you took off for the day or something.
What would you do like differently? Like, there's a lot of things that I would do differently, like when he was a newborn and stuff. I wish I would have like slept more and like just trusted myself.
I mean, I would have been independently wealthy, so I wouldn't have to go to work.
But I mean, like,
then I could have done more around here. I mean, you pretty much hogged him when he was little.
Well, that's how I felt. Like I needed to do that to like help everybody.
You never let me do things with him? Like you never let me put him to sleep or anything like that. Still don't.
And the reason why, like, there's
so
many things.
I don't understand how that works, but
it's because
I mean, I could figure it out if I needed to.
I spend like 24/7 with Lennon and everything. So whenever I feel like, I guess it's like separation anxiety. Like, it's not that I do not trust David or my family or anything like that. It's a fact that, like, I, like, as much as, like, I need space, I need Lennon, like, 24/7. And I know a lot of you moms can agree to the fact that, you know, it's that connection that you have with your child, and it's kind of hard because I'm also like a stay-at-home mom, and I feel like we have our own routine. So whenever I let somebody else kind of like try putting him to sleep like you and stuff, I feel like it's not gonna get done right. It's not that I don't trust you. It's the fact that, like, what if, like, Lennon needs me? And I have a lot of separation anxiety and stuff. Because I know David is more than, like, well enough to, like, take care of Lennon. It's just, like, I also start feeling guilty, like, why am I letting him do it when I could do it? You know? And that's also, like, I want to talk about, like, I felt really guilty of, like, even trying to get David to, you know, take care of Lennon in the beginning and everything, because I just felt bad. And everything was all on me and stuff. And there isn't many videos that talk about, like, the whole relationship kind of, like, mom and dad relationship kind of just stopping for the baby and everything. So your relationship definitely takes a toll. Half the time, like, we do argue, and it's because, like, I'm always stressed and I'm tired and I just need a break sometimes. But when I give myself a break, I start feeling really guilty.
Okay, go play.
It's a whole mess of emotions, and like I said, like, I still suffer from, like, depression and anxiety and stuff, you know. But overall, I feel like we're doing better now. Do you think we're doing better? Anyways, we do feel a lot better with Lennon being older, just because he walks now, and, like, you know, he does have teeth and he eats more. He just doesn't rely on milk and stuff. And I will go on a whole other, like, video talking about how I did wean him off of, you know, breast milk to formula and now to cow's milk. But now that he's older, right, that it's just, I guess it's true that it does get easier. Would you say that for our next baby and stuff, it's gonna be like 10 times easier? I think so. Because, like, I don't know why I didn't even...
If it, like, follows suit with Lennon, it'll be easy for me.
What do you mean?
I won't have to do much. It'll be easy for me.
Yeah, one thing I would change is to rely more on others versus then just, like, letting everything fall on me.
Lennon is a lot easier to deal with. Now these one, we don't have to do so much for him. Yeah. It feels like
he plays by himself.
Now, yeah, like, he's off playing by himself, trying to break a toy right now.
He sleeps most, like, through the night and stuff.
Well, we just have to kind of not really take care of him, more so manage him. Like, I just kind of make sure he's not stuck under a gate or something. Yeah. That's normal, what all kids do. But somebody gets upset about it. He's stuck under a gate. He's fine.
He was literally stuck this morning.
Just unstick him from the gate.
Doesn't matter. But overall, it does get easier. And if you are feeling super overwhelmed right now, I know that I've been there, and it definitely does get easier. And if you have any questions or anything like that, just feel free to ask, because when I feel like also YouTube could be a good outlet, especially while you're nursing and just passing time. But I feel like when I was nursing Lennon and everything, there wasn't a lot of videos just really talking about, you know, these common issues, because we're not, like, the only ones. Like, a lot of other families don't do the, like, like FMLA, right? So yeah, but definitely for our next baby, I think it will be easier. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was kind of everywhere just because we don't really know how to record a lot of videos and everything. Hopefully you guys did find this helpful, and if you guys have any sort of questions, feel free to ask. You guys are not alone on this, but thanks for watching.
And subscribe.
Yeah, bye.